Hi everybody, and thanks for starting off the week with us. It's the 19th day of January and a whole lot of news to cover this evening. And of course, some of that will tragically be the death of a McGoffin County man involved in a standoff with police who was shot, a single gunshot fired after a Kentucky State Police trooper felt his life and that of another officer threatened. I'll tell you what I know at this hour about the individual and what we hope to maybe learn about the situation a little later on as well. I've also got some other news, an auto accident over the course of the weekend, and without a doubt, one of the most exciting contests of basketball I have seen, and I think everyone else agreed. It was just one of those that you can't put an entertainment value on. The Lady Hornets hosting the Lady Cardinals from Sheldon Clark this past Friday night. And I've also got some other news as I did cover the 14th, 15th, and 16th regional dance competition over the course of the weekend. We'll have to save that for a later date. In the midst of trying to get the news that we do have to air this evening and a few other things that we've been working on all day, we're going to confine just strictly to those local headlines this evening, as well as calendar announcements and your weather forecast, which I literally had to do a double check because I thought I was doing a repeat and entering in information from last week's forecast. Pretty much throughout the week, from every day on, maybe with the exception of tomorrow, but temperatures were within a degree at most of being exactly where they were for last week's forecast. I literally thought I had last week's forecast in front of me. Things are a little bit different for the weekend, but all in all, we've got temperatures in the 50s again tomorrow. We've got a few chances of some precipitation, white and wet, and some sunshine and some clouds, and temperatures not frigid as they have been for much of the past few weeks. I'll be glad to tell you that, but an updated forecast for you in just a few moments. I've also got an auto accident that starts off our news this evening. A mother and her small child escaped serious injury because they were both properly restrained. It happened on the Mountain Parkway over the course of the weekend. The motorist traveling, I believe, towards the Richmond area when she lost control of her vehicle and it overturned. Witnesses in the area described the vehicle as spinning on its top after it came to a final rest. The female driver, who was unidentified in this report or reports to us, was traveling from Pike County to Richmond. She had her small child in tow, about 1 year of age, and she started to brake right around the same time when she realized she was losing control in a curve, and after her SUV had left the roadway over to the right side of the road. Now, she tried to regain control, and eyewitnesses, including an off-duty sheriff's deputy from Floyd County who was behind her, indicated that she fought the vehicle for some time trying to regain control, but to no avail. There were yaw marks indicating where she had left the roadway. The vehicle then started to barrel roll at least twice, then came to a rest on its top, spinning until it finally stopped, as you see here. Now, she and the small child were both out of the vehicle upon arrival of emergency personnel. Both had been restrained, she wearing her seatbelt and the small child properly restrained in her safety seat in the middle of the rear seat of the vehicle. Upon arrival of the McGoffin County Rescue Squad, she and the child were fine and in the vehicle that belonged to that off-duty sheriff's deputy from Floyd County, I am told, in order to keep her warm and out of any more harm's way. They refused medical treatment at the scene, I do believe, and were able to return home without a scratch. That there, upside down, that child safety seat being the primary reason why. When I come back, I'll take you to the scene of that standoff involving authorities and a McGoffin County man who passed away earlier this morning of a single gunshot wound he sustained after a shot by the police. Stay tuned.
There's an unlimited selection of new and pre-owned vehicles right at your fingertips with 9 acres of inventory and 7 different franchises all at one location. Hutch, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. Call Chevy, Buick, and GMC at 297-4066 or Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram at 297-5066. Where selection, satisfaction, and service after you're sold are all guaranteed.
With a low-rate mortgage from Citizens National Bank, you can downsize your mortgage payment, not your home. New home or refi, Citizens gives you the personal service you deserve. And no gotcha fine print, just low rates. Stop by your nearest branch to apply today. Citizens National Bank. We take banking personally. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Spend less time waiting or in line for your prescriptions or refills and get the care you need with the quality and convenience that matters most at Parkway Pharmacy, your exclusive provider of the finest in vitamins and supplements by Windmill Vitamins. Come in or drive through 8:30 till 6:30 Monday through Friday or call Parkway Pharmacy 349-4400.
At the end of every race, Mark Martin hangs up his driving gloves. He hangs up his fire suit. And he hangs up his helmet. Which is why he picks up his phone and opens the ER Extra app. The app shows ER Extra wait times, locations, and more. It's the one safeguard Mark Martin is never without. ER Extra at Paul B. Hall Regional Medical Center. Extra fast, extra easy, extra great.
If you have been in a serious wreck, do you really think that you are in good hands of the insurance companies when you have lost wages, medical bills, and pain and suffering from your head to your toes? The answer is no. If you want to truly be in good hands, give me a call. I'm attorney Donald Wayne McFarland. Let me put my 20 years of experience in working to protect the rights of injured people to work for you. 349-9000.
Based on more than 30 years of experience in moving earth, L&L Excavating is your answer for all land improvement and construction projects. From ditching, clearing, filling, basements, house seats, pond dipping with an extra long boom, and mine site reclamation, L&L Excavating has the equipment to fit the size of any project, and they guarantee to get it done right, and 20% cheaper than any other reasonable offer or quote. L&L Excavating. Find them on Facebook or 496-5305.
When your allergy symptoms are persistent and nothing else has helped, call the Asthma and Allergy Center. We can help. With 5 locations in Eastern Kentucky, we can see you within a week. Call the Asthma and Allergy Center today at 800-852-0171 or visit aacenter.com.
Coming up next is a report and some accompanying video brought to us from the scene that shows in part the situation surrounding a shooting in McGoffin County over the course of the weekend. It involves a standoff between a McGoffin County man and authorities, local police and troopers with the Kentucky State Police. It also involves a man who has since passed away from a single gunshot wound to his chest, a Vietnam veteran who had lived in the Brushy Fork area of McGoffin County. I've got a great deal of details on this story tonight. I've spoken with, personally, the Public Affairs Officer of Post 9, Stephen Mounts. We have an interview forthcoming possibly later on in the week. I've also spoken with some family of Mr. Castle, who died of that single gunshot wound, a Vietnam veteran who lived in the Brushy Fork area. We've learned quite a bit about his situation and about his mental health here as of today. We've also made some arrangements to possibly talk with those members of the family who requested that they not speak to us today on camera, but did provide several details about the situation and the chain of events that led up to the situation yesterday. We'll begin with that official press release as it was issued from Trooper Mounts and the Kentucky State Police in Post 9. It says that they are still investigating after one of their officers fired what appears to be a single shot from a .223 rifle in the direction of Mr. Castle after he refused to stop threatening him or threatening them with his own weapon.
It was a situation that really escalated a great deal yesterday, but had been building for possibly a few weeks since the holidays. The Kentucky State Police says that they responded to the gunlock community to assist the McGoffin County Sheriff's Department in serving an arrest warrant on Carter Ray Castle. After the police arrived, Castle was found outside his home, and he was still in possession of a gun that he had been wielding on numerous occasions throughout the day, maybe even in days prior, even firing at a couple of parked vehicles earlier in the morning. I'll tell you more on that in just a second. Police tried to talk him down at the scene, and it came to one point that the situation escalated to the degree that both a trooper and a sheriff's deputy deployed their tasers. They were not effective. He was wearing what I was described to as a large, maybe camouflage coat, and a heavy piece of outerwear that may have kept the tasers from penetrating into his skin and having an effect. He then brandished his weapon again, aiming it in the direction of police. At that time, they fired a shot. That trooper fired a shot that proved deadly. He was actually still talking, conscious, and stable at the scene. He was talking with authorities. They had handcuffed him, placed him into custody. EMS arrived. He was being evaluated and was considered stable. As I said, talking. He was coherent, and it appeared as though his injuries may not be life-threatening. As you see, helicopter from the hazard station came to an established landing zone in the area. He was airlifted to the St. Mary's Medical Center in West Virginia. The single gunshot wound, which had no exit wound, though, would prove fatal. He passed away earlier this morning at that facility.
Funeral services are pending for Mr. Castle. I'll have the details available on that in just a few moments. I do want to close, though, with a couple of other remarks. I did speak with a member of his family earlier today, a few moments ago, actually, via the telephone, and extended an invitation to them to talk to us if they were so interested later on this week, possibly, about Mr. Castle, about his PTSD and how it affected his life, and maybe shed some light on the situation, not just for him, but for soldiers all across America who go through similar accounts. So while we're waiting to hear word on that and possibly some personal accounts of not just the events yesterday, but what they feel may have led to those events and how he had changed since coming back from the war, I can tell you this. They told me that they believe that he was in the Special Forces in Vietnam, and he spoke of one mission where he was the only one to return. They said that he had been on medication, and since Christmas they had noticed that there was something just not as it should be with him. They've been very concerned, and after hearing of a couple of instances yesterday morning where he was shooting out coal tires on a couple of parked coal trucks in the South Magoffin area, if you will, a couple of parked coal trucks, as he was said to have been very open about his dislike and protest of strip mining. He had shot out, supposedly or allegedly, some coal truck tires on a couple of different vehicles, and when members of his family went to him to try to see if they could maybe talk him into getting his medication readjusted or back on it or what have you, he actually wouldn't have anything to do with that, and I believe maybe even made threats towards them. They called local authorities. 2 sheriff's deputies did go to his residence, and he threatened them with the gun. It was upon that instance they called the Kentucky State Police and further organized to try to prevent anyone from being injured, including Mr. Castle, and that's when troopers and a member or two of the Magoffin County Sheriff's Department went back to his residence on yesterday evening, and he again refused to give in and cooperate. The same member of the family that I spoke with earlier said that they were there and had first-hand knowledge and believed that police handled everything correctly and gave him every opportunity to surrender. However, he chose not to and was shot after threatening them with his weapon one time in the chest, and then ultimately taken, as you saw or heard just a few moments ago, to the hospital via helicopter, and then passed away earlier this morning.
And again, I'll have more with investigating officers and possibly with the family of Mr. Castle sometime at a later date. For now, before we get back to our top headlines, let's go on over to tonight's calendar, starting off this week of January 19. A quick reminder, this is how you get calendar announcements on the program. Drop them in the post office, phone, fax, email, Facebook, and, of course, drop them off here at the studio. That will work, too, on East Maple Street, just a few doors above the Sagersville Post Office. All announcements brought to you by Magoffin Farm Bureau. An announcement I don't have typed in, the Elk Creek Free Will Baptist Church phoned in earlier today. It tells me they've got revival starting this Wednesday and nightly thereafter at 7 p.m. Pastor Paul Heiner and everyone at Elk Creek Free Will Baptist invite you to join them for revival starting this Wednesday at 7 p.m. Also, the Substance Abuse Free Environment Coalition, our SAFE Coalition in Magoffin County, has a regular monthly meeting at the Magoffin County Health Department set for this Wednesday at noon, this Wednesday the 21st at noon in the Health Department's Education Room. Lunch is provided. Everyone is invited to attend. And a reminder, the Big Sandy Long-Term Care Ombudsman Program is currently asking for volunteers. They need your help to serve as certified volunteers, an advocate for residents of nursing homes, personal care homes, and family care homes. In addition to visiting those residents on a regular basis, you also will strive to provide information and resolve complaints on behalf of residents. To find out more, 1-800-737-2723. And again, our calendar announcement brought to you by McGoffin Farm Bureau. Turning to funeral service announcements, we are told that services were held earlier today, as we only had a partial listing on Friday, in honor of 55-year-old Alan Lee Bowling of Dayton, Ohio, formerly of McGoffin County. He passed away on Friday. He's survived by 2 daughters, Leanne Doyle and Lexi Bowling. Services were held once again earlier today for Alan Bowling. Nellie Jane Powers Kelly of Mayking, Kentucky, passed away on the 17th. She was married to James Vernon Kelly, who preceded her in death. Visitation is this evening and any time prior to services. They've been set for tomorrow at 2 with visitation and services at the McGoffin County Funeral Home. 62-year-old Larry Curtis Barnett of Sugar Camp in Dixie passed away on the 17th. That was Saturday. The son of the late Ham Barnett and Laura Stone. He's survived by his wife, Rella Kraft Barnett, sons Larry Thomas and Andy Curtis, and Timothy Lee Barnett, also a daughter, Thelma Lee Barnett. Visitation is this evening, all day tomorrow, and up until services. They've been set to begin Wednesday at 2 o'clock, all from the McGoffin County Funeral Home. And we've also learned of the passing of, as I told you, 67-year-old Carter Castle of Sagersville. He passed away on today's date at the St. Mary's Hospital in Huntington. Arrangements are incomplete at this time, but to be announced later by the McGoffin County Funeral Home. Another incomplete listing at this hour is 46-year-old Connie M. Estep of Sagersville, who passed away on today's date. Arrangements are being made at this time. They will be announced by the McGoffin County Funeral Home in the next several hours. Once again, 46-year-old Connie Estep of Sagersville, who has passed away. And we've also learned of the passing of 81-year-old Galen Howard of Sagersville, who passed away on today's date as well. Arrangements are also incomplete at this time, but to be announced soon, also by the McGoffin County Funeral Home.
Over the course of the weekend, a big day, as we told you towards the latter part of last week, the 15th, I do that every time, 14th, 15th, and 16th regional dance competition. I'll have a report on that a little later. I've been working on it actually quite a bit and for several hours, but it's not ready to air. What is ready to air is Friday night's matchup between the Lady Hornets and the Lady Cardinals of Sheldon Clark. And as I'll admit freely here in just a few moments, I kind of let my guard down. The Lady Hornets got up, may have let their guard down just a bit. Maybe just as much. Sheldon Clark picked up the pace towards the latter part of the contest. Nevertheless, we were all in store for, as far as entertainment value is concerned, one of the best games you're going to see.
Coach Scott Castle and his Lady Hornets hosted the ladies from Sheldon Clark this past Friday night, and it was pretty much on a McGoffin County note for much of the contest. In fact, to the point that while the McGoffin County Lady Hornets were leading by double digits at the half, I even sat down and took a break. Plenty of highlights, some good shots just like that one, and had an easy go of it, I thought. Sit back and enjoy the game. But things made a turnaround. Sheldon Clark put some pressure on, and with about 4 minutes to go, the Hornets' lead in double digits fell to single digits, and before you knew it, we were tied up. That's right, tied up with 1 minute and 4 seconds left to go. 46-46 is your score. A minute left. Jazzy drives down, hits the 2, and this is no longer an easy game and an easy win for the Hornets. And that foul sends the Lady Cardinals to the line. No pressure here. 2 for 2, and we're tied again, 48 points apiece, and it's time for a timeout, says Sheldon Clark. Fast forward, now we're at 15.6 seconds left to go. Still tied, 48 apiece, and Sheldon Clark has the ball. They inbound, try to work down the clock, trying to go for a last-minute bucket and avoid an overtime with the Lady Hornets. But Shanna Howard's there. She feeds it to Jazzy, and a half-court shot will send us into overtime. Here we are in extra innings, and about a minute left to go in the fifth quarter, if you will. And trying to wind down the clock, Magafa County draws the foul. Here we are again. Same scenario, close to a minute left, and Magafa County's at the free throw line. No pressure on Jazzy Howard, and she steps up and sinks 2 huge free throws, and the Lady Hornets score first in overtime and go ahead by 2, 50-48. And Sheldon Clark inbounds, gets down under the goal, and goes up for 2. And as if we didn't have enough drama, Magafa County is inbounding. Shanna Howard reaches down for a calf. She's still in motion. She's still making her way down the court, albeit with an apparent injury, but she didn't come to a stop. However, the refs stopped the game. They call a timeout because they think that she's injured. And here's the scenario. They leave Coach Scott Castle with an option. He can either take her out of the game because they thought and she appeared to be injured, or they can take a timeout. Take it any way you like it. Castle takes a timeout. Magafa County thinks it over. So we're still tied. It's 50 apiece. 50 seconds on the clock and counting. Magafa County Lady Hornets inbound. Jazzy Howard brings the ball past the midway point and looks to work a little time off the clock. Trying to stay out. Take a little time off the clock. She's also looking for a chance to work her magic, and this may look a bit familiar. She goes in, she pulls out, and on this occasion, she'll draw the foul and earn a trip to the free throw line. And once again, showing no signs of pressure, Howard steps up to the line. The first one is through and good. The second one, nothing but net. And with a little more than 20 seconds left to go, the Lady Cardinals inbound. I don't have a complete roster in front of me. I can't tell you who number 21 is. I can tell you, as you're about to see, she goes in, she goes right. She throws up a hook over the head for 2 with 13 seconds left to go. It's a tie game, and the Lady Hornets bring the ball back down. Jazzy, top of the key. She turns right. She's through traffic, and it's good. Only seconds left to go, and just as soon as the inbound pass comes in, Magafa County and the Lady Hornets call for a timeout. There's 5 seconds left on the clock in one of the most exciting games that we've seen on any level in a long, long time. They put 5 seconds back on the clock. I'm a little shaky there in the video for obvious reasons. The Lady Cardinals inbound, have a chance to tie. I don't know where the hesitation was there, and then there it is. Time's out. That one didn't count, but it was an enormous victory for the home team and an exciting game as the Lady Hornets pull this one out by 2 in overtime, 54-52 over Sheldon Clark.
A very entertaining game from start to finish. We controlled most of the first half, and I thought before halftime, we kind of let our guard down a little bit, and we were supposed to take the last shot with about a minute and a half on the clock there, and for some reason we didn't do that, and we give up about 6 points there before halftime to let them close the gap a little bit. Did the same thing in the second half, and that really made it interesting coming down the stretch, and they actually forced us into overtime. Thought we did a really good job in the overtime of getting the shots that we wanted. Shot selection was really good, and we were able to survive and get a big district win. Well, I think as of now, preseason they picked us to finish dead last in the district. And if I'm not mistaken, I think we may be tied for first place in the district as we stand now. And, we've got a lot of young kids that didn't have any experience. So to watch these kids grow from the first game of the season to where they are now is just amazing.
And it's not surprisingly running out of time. I'm going to give you an abbreviated Licking Valley RACC forecast, which puts us back down into the 20s tonight. Upper 20s better than the low 20s, which is where we started off this morning at 21. I had 59 degrees today here at the newsroom. That's what it says. Sun did feel good. A low of 27 tonight, partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow is your best bet weather-wise. More sunshine, more 50s return. Partly sunny and a high right around 55 degrees on your Tuesday. It's going to be nice. It's going to be dry. It's going to be be warm. It's going to be sunny. Enjoy it as much as possible because things are going to change. And, in fact, clouds and a chance of some precipitation after midnight tomorrow night will yield way to a little more of the same. So for your Tuesday night, a low of 38 degrees. Midweek, we'll see 46 degrees on your Wednesday. Mostly cloudy skies. A chance of that precipitation in the form of rain hanging around till about 10 a.m. Otherwise, a cloudy end to Wednesday as well with a low of 31. Thursday, a slight chance of some rain and snow very early in the morning before 8. Otherwise, mostly cloudy, and I expect daytime highs on your Thursday to be right around the 39-degree mark. That's about as far as I've got time to go. Thank you for your time and your patience and understanding. As always, it's been a real Monday around here, but we've got so much news to cover throughout the rest of the week. We'll be getting to that then and talking about the sunshine making a return for Friday and how your weekend doesn't look all that bad with sunny and 46 on your Saturday and a whole lot of other news when we see you back here for more of your news today. Thank you so much for being a part of this show. Have a good night.